guys, so today I'm gonna attempt a Milky Way wine tumbler, and I'm gonna use Mystical Dragon. This is all from Southern Glitter Goddess, Unicorn Tears, Purple Passion, and Purple Haze. And then from Island Micas and more, I'm gonna use Caribbean Storm, Treasure, and Night Blooming Jasmine, which is an interference violet. So I'm gonna use the epoxy method first to put this glitter on. I have some sheets of paper and I'm gonna pour it right out of the bag because I like to keep my glitter in bags. And so I'm just gonna pour a little bit of epoxy on here. Resin, epoxy, whatever you wanna call it. And I'm gonna try to swirl this glitter on. It's gonna look crazy, but it's not really a big deal because we're gonna go over it with white, with Castin craft and with the Micas. So the layout of the glitter is not the most important thing. So once I get this on here, I'm just gonna kind of smooth it over. I have my finger caught on. I probably used a little bit too much resin. You don't want too much resin or it'll leave like oil slicks in your glitter. It looks like oil slicks, that's what I call it. So I'll kind of just push it off to get the excess off. And so this is a stainless steel tumbler. I'll post a link. You can get these on Amazon or any tumbler place. And I spray painted it with some spray paint I had laying around. This one was called Silver Lilac by Rust-Oleum. It's a flat color. All the spray paint, every spray paint I use is usually Rust-Oleum. So I'm just making sure the whole thing's covered in resin, and that if there's extra, I'm just pushing it off and kind of scraping it on the side of my pan down there. Making sure everything's even. And I'm gonna let this spin for about 5 minutes so that it evens out, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I let this spin for about 5 minutes and I just let the resin even out. I'm just looking around to make sure nothing's missing, no holes in the epoxy, I didn't miss any spaces. And now I'm just gonna glitter this thing like crazy. And I'm just gonna stick this paper right under here. And I'm gonna start with Purple Haze. Kinda want it to spin the other way. I'm a crazy person. And I'm just gonna start just like that. And I'm gonna shore up, I go over it one more time. And remember, we're gonna cover this up with a flood coat and some Castin craft and some mica powders to create a Milky Way. So this underneath doesn't have to be perfect. I have some of my glitter in shakers and I have some of my glitter in bags, and I kind of like them in bags better. I mean, it's easier to shake with a shaker, but I like to hang up my bags. Oh, I'm a weirdo. Okay, and this is Unicorn Tears. I'm gonna wait till it spins around again. I'm gonna come on this side. I'm gonna go over it one more time just to make sure that I have it covered. Tapping it a little, and I'm just, you can't really see, but I'm just pouring this glitter right back into the bag. This is Purple Passion. I'm gonna go right in the inside there. Woo. Looking cool so far. Hopefully I won't screw it up. I know I just hit the cup with my paper. I do that often. Probably if I took this away, I wouldn't have that issue. But it kind of holds the paper up for me as well. Okay, next I'm going to do Mystical Dragon. This is like a chunky, fine mixture. And I want to start here. But I'm going to let it swirl around again. I kind of missed it. Actually, I want to go here. I swear, this is my slow spinner. I have a faster spinner. But I guess if you're doing something like this, it's better to go slow. Alright, so that's Mystical Dragon. I'm gonna hit a little Mystical Dragon right here. So I want to get some of this Purple Passion and some of this Unicorn Tears in here. I have a little bit of space left. So I'm going to go with Purple Passion first to split up the two chunkies. And then I'll hit it with the Unicorn Tears. I'm actually going to leave the bottom as is. And I'm trying to save a little spot for those Unicorn Tears. Perfect. Now I'm wondering if I should switch out the treasure for the Atocha, which is a silver. I'm gonna have to think about it. All right, I'm gonna finish that last spot up with unicorn tears. All right. So I would normally, I'm gonna let this spin for about 4 hours probably. And then it's gonna sit because I have to go to work. Usually I do the flood coat right after the 4 hours. I see a spot that's missing a little purple passion. So normally I would do the flood coat right after 4 or 5 hours like I was saying, but I have to go to work, so it's gonna sit for longer. And I'll probably seal it with clear. I'll show you guys that so that the chunky stays down and it's not so rough. All right, there it is. I'm gonna pull the camera down. Beautiful. And I will catch you guys later to finish the rest. Hey guys. So I am back and my glitter is all dry. And I'm trying to get this to spin. What is going on? There we go. Okay, my glitter's all dry. And I took this outside and I sprayed a clear coat of crystal clear enamel from Rust-Oleum. I did not do it on camera because it is windy outside. And funny story, true story, lesson learned. When I wasn't paying attention, I must have put the cap on the wrong bottle, on the wrong spray bottle. So I just grabbed the one with the clear cap, and when I sprayed it, it was white spray paint. And I freaked out. I almost ruined it, but I grabbed, luckily I had acetone, and acetone takes the spray paint right off, so we're good to go. So anyways, I sprayed one coat of this on here to kind of, because some of the glitter is chunky, to kind of keep it down. It's still sticking up a little bit, but it helps a lot. So now what I'm gonna do before we start the Milky Way process is I'm just gonna do a flood coat again because it's a chunky cup and it needs it. So we're just gonna do a flood coat and then we're gonna let it spin for a few hours, probably until, I'll let it spin for 4 hours and then I'll turn it off, and then tonight after dinner I'll come and do the Milky Way. So I'm just pouring some resin on here. I mixed up about I mixed up about an ounce, which is way too much, but I'm gonna use it for some molds. And I have my finger caught and I'm just smoothing this on here. If you ever feel like you have too much resin on here, you probably do. And what can happen is you're gonna get, I learned when I first started making wine tumblers, I was getting, it was uneven on the bottom and my wine tumblers were rocking. It was terrible. And then I'd have to go sand. So what I was trying to say is, so you ever get too much resin, just slide it down, wipe it off. I tend to go heavy on the resin. I started my resin journey a couple years ago doing waves and you know, stuff like that. I never did cups. I just started cups, I don't know, now it's been like a year with cups. But I always find myself being heavy-handed with the resin, using too much resin because I'm just so used to doing resin art. So I'm just kind of, you know, sliding it off, make sure the bottom is good, covered. This is a flood coat, which is just a clear coat. In the places where the glitter is chunky, you can feel it, the glitter sticking up. We might have to do some sanding in this cup, which is cool because then I can show you that. All right, and then when I got enough resin on there, I'm gonna get my mask. And I'm gonna lightly hit it with the torch. Got my mask. And that's it, just to pop any bubbles and let the resin run around smooth. Now, the point of wearing a mask, if I take it off right after I torch, it's not really counting because I could still, you know, smell a little bit of fumes. You're supposed to keep the mask on at all times, but since I'm filming a video, I'm not able to do that. So just so you guys know, keep your mask on. So that's it. It has the clear coat on, and I'm going to let it spin for 4 hours. I'm going to turn it off, and then I'll be back later to do the Milky Way with you. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Hey guys, so this is all dry. It's actually been a couple days. I got a little busy. And before I do the Milky Way part, I just want to sand a little bit. The chunky glitter is still a little rough. And I also wanted to show you, people I see ask a million times, if you get resin in the inside, how do you get it out? Because I don't put tape in there, I just let it go. I'm pretty good about not getting resin in there, but I got a little messy this time. And I'm just gonna show you, I don't know if you can see that, but there's just a little bit of resin right in there, and I just get my torch and I hit it real quick with the torch, and then it scrapes right out. There's a little piece right here. Torch, scrape it out, and it's not hot, it's not burning my fingers. Torch, scrape it out. If you want to use a popsicle stick instead of your finger, you can do that. And it just scratches right out. And then I'll use acetone to go along the edge and get the spray paint out. And that's how I clean the inside of my cup. And then I wash it with warm soapy water. So this is a little sand pad, and I'm just gonna give this a little sand on the edges where I feel the rough glitter. I sell these in Island Micas. I'll post the link. And if you've never sanded resin before, it looks crazy. You're like, oh my gosh, I ruined my cup. No, you didn't. As soon as you put another coat on there, it'll look like it never happened. But chunky glitter could be a pain in the butt. Like, sometimes I don't even want to deal with it. So you have to do a little sanding. And I just feel rough right there. And that's where the chunky glitter actually poked up through the resin. Because I want to only have to do one more layer. You don't want to have a million layers on this thing. And I'm just feeling around to see if I feel any rough edges. Alright, that feels good. And now I'm going to show you how to clean it. So this is rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to spray it down, and then just get a clean cloth and wipe it off. And that's how I clean it. And then it's ready to do our Milky Way. So I'm going to mix up some resin. Off camera, and then I will be back. Alright, so I'm all set. I have my resin mixed up, and I'm going to put a finger cot on, and I'm going to do a flood coat. I'm going to move it around. Make sure everything's covered up. Then I mixed up about 2 ounces of resin. Just letting the rest drip. I want to get movement, so I'm kind of using a lot of resin. This is not the whole 2 ounces. I divided some between the 4 colors. Let this spin for a second. Okay, and here are my 4 colors. Night Blooming Jasmine, which is again an interference violet. Atocha, it's like a glittery silver mica. Caribbean Storm, and then Casting Craft. So I'm going to use my Casting Craft first, and I'm going to go at an angle and do some little drips. And then I'm going to switch over to my violet. And I'm going to go in between those drips. And then this is my Atocha, which is my silver. And then this is my Night Blooming Jasmine, which is an interference color. Okay, and then I'm just going to hit it with a tiny bit of heat, not a lot. On and off. Up and down. And just a little more white. And I'm kind of just moving it around. And then I'm just gonna hit it with my heat gun on low, just a teeny bit. And far away. Just moving that white around, spreading it out. Hitting it with a tiny bit more heat. I think that's about it, guys.